Hello guys, Bud here with Dependable Lawn Care. If you buy these Green Touch backpack blower racks, it doesn't matter if it's the version 1, 2, or 3. 3 is the newest version, but you get an extra set of these upper arms, or the upper bracket part of it that actually locks the blower in. So this is the long one, and then there's also a short one. And every rack you get both arms, so you can use whichever one you need. Well, I've got these 2 backpack blower racks, and then I've got 2 more on my open trailer. And so I have 4 of the shorter arms. And I think I came up with an idea on how to repurpose those. Before I tell you what I'm doing with these, let me show you what I'm doing right now, the steps I'm taking. So I've got 2 marks here. From this shoulder right here over 1.25 inches is my first mark, 1.5 inches is my second mark. And then I did the same thing on this side, 1.25 inches, 1.5 inches, and between the 2 marks, the inside marks, is 10.5 inches. Okay, now that's the measurement that I need. Now if you do this same project, and you'll see what I'm using it for here in a minute, your measurements are going to be different unless you have an FW15. This is going to be FW15 specific. So if you have the Ferris FW15 and you have some of these shorter arms or longer arms, it won't matter which, just sitting around, this project's for you. So the first thing I'm going to do is the outside mark is actually my cutoff mark. So I've got my chop saw set up here, and I'm just going to put those in the clamp, and I'm going to cut that off at the outside mark. And then I'm going to come to the inside mark, and I'm going to bend it at a 90, just like it is here, except I'm going to do it back here. I need it bent at a 90 back in this area. So I'm going to go ahead and cut those 2 spots off real quick. I made my cuts, and that actually turned out quite nicely. It didn't melt all the rubber off, the rubber coating. If you didn't have a chop saw, you could do this with a hacksaw or even a grinder with a cutting disc, an angle grinder. So now what I have left is just the flat bar with my 1.25 inch marks. And these are the pieces that I cut off just for reference. So what I'm going to do now is take this to the vise. So I've got it clamped right there at my mark, and I've got it nice and straight up and down. You can see it's even straight with the post behind it. And so now what I want to do, see if I can do this one-handed. Oh yeah, not too bad at all. I want to bend that as close as I can to 90 degrees. That's pretty close, I think. These ends did not bend at a perfect 90. It's not a perfect 90-degree bend. It's more of a radius, but that will actually work just fine, I think, for what I'm doing. So what I needed was 10.5 inches inside and 3.5 inches across on the inside. And I cut myself a couple spacers out of a 2x2. So it's just a 1.5 by 1.5 spacer. Drilled 3 holes and went ahead and dropped screws in there. And now I can go show you what I'm doing with this crazy contraption. Got it screwed into place, as you can see, and this is how it's going to work. So you roll the mower in here, and when you get it close to where you want it, you just pop the mower up like you would a push mower, and voila. Drop your front tire down in there. As you can see, it comes up 3.5 inches on the tire, and then it kind of wraps around, so it's got the tire encapsulated on both sides, and it's not going anywhere unless you intentionally take it out like so. It's not going anywhere. And what this allows me to do by having it just fastened with that one front tire is that I've got all this range of motion. So I can move the mower all the way over here like this, which I kind of like because it gives me full access to my shelf. I can walk all the way up in here to get to the shelf. Or I can have it like I did before, where it was at before, basically, with it sort of under the shelf, and then I can just slide it out. I can actually put it up in there quite a ways, which gives me a lot more space here, and then I still have access to the shelf because I can reach over it. And it doesn't matter because this mower has the swivel front caster, so I can put it in pretty much any angle I want, as you can see. And then this one's just free spinning. So that's my idea. We'll see how well it works. It's just 3 3-inch screws, or actually I think they're 2.5-inch screws, screwed right into the subfloor, but that should be more than enough. I mean, as long as the mower doesn't have movement, you know, as long as it's not able to, so you can see it can't move very much. I mean, there's just very little wiggle room, and as long as it can't move around very much, then that ought to stay nice and solid, and keeps the mower from moving around in the trailer during transport. But it also gives me a lot more flexibility with where I can position the mower and getting the mower in and out. So that's my little crazy idea. Now, I gave you guys the measurements as I was going along. So if you've got an FW15 and you want a way to secure it in the trailer, open or enclosed, it wouldn't matter, and you've got some of those leftover arms from the Green Touch racks, then you're set. This is a pretty easy project. Probably took me a total of, I don't know, maybe 20 minutes, 30 minutes tops to cut those off, bend them, drill 3 holes, and boom. So a couple little pieces of scrap lumber. You could use an actual 2x4 and just cut it to length. It wouldn't even have to be a 1x, or you know, a 2x2. I just happen to have some 2x2 scrap anyway, so it just worked out for me. But anyway, that works out pretty slick. I like it. Very simple, and it works. So there you go, guys. There's a little idea for you if you've got some spare time and some spare parts. So as always, guys, get out there and make some money, and we'll catch you on the next one.